There are so many things in life that people can look back on and can say that was cool. Maybe they went to a concert, man, it was just a great concert. But to me, I can't think of too many things that are more cool than being chauffeur to your Sweet 16 party
True.
by Samuel L. Jackson, and mind you, in a brand new Mercedes with his beautiful wife. What are
True.
your fondest recollections of your Sweet 16 party?
Man, it was one of those, I don't know, milestone moments, you know? It's one of those things where you look back and you're like, wow, I'm really well loved. I just felt really special that day. And it was, my high school, all my friends was there, so that was good to see somebody who they, normally see every day, but don't really know,
Right.
like, all my family and all my friends. And it's just great to see my family unit that I used to have for whatever reason, because some people have moved away, gone to college. So it's just great to have that snapshot in time. So
Right.
I loved it, man. I loved
Right.
it.
And my fondest recollection was seeing your mom and dad do karaoke and singing to you. It just, you could
Yeah.
just see the love. You can't fake that. How
Yeah.
much of an impact have they had on you?
Man, my parents are outside of God. I mean, they're my everything. They just keep me going, keep me focused. When I have hard days and times where I'm just like, oh, forget it all. I don't want to do anything. And they just keep me just motivated and really focused. And just let me know that even in those dark times, if I believe in myself, if I focus, if I keep my faith in God and just work really, really hard, I can achieve anything. The sky's the limit. Yeah.
Great. Now, your answer reminded me of something that I was thinking of preparing for this interview. Your mom, your dad, and yourself are both up front with your spirituality. You don't
Yeah.
hide that. You don't put that on the back burner.
Yeah.
How much of an impact has God had on you in your life and your parents and that whole mix?
Um, Man, it's everything. I feel like a lot of the world's issues and problems and things can be solved if people have a connection to something outside of themselves. And so I feel like God just really keeps me grounded, motivated, keeps it really 100 with me, in the
Right,
times
right.
that I'm way off kilter. And so I think he just really centers me. And it's my best friend. I mean, tell him anything and everything. So yeah, spirituality has definitely been a main focus of my life and one of the reasons I am, where I am today.
You might as well be up front and tell him because he knows anyway.
Absolutely. Hey,
Great.
absolutely.
Now, speaking of your parents, your dad is an actor,
He is.
and all his friends are actors, and
They
you've been
are.
surrounded by all your life. How much of an influence has that had on you?
I think being surrounded by actors, I think definitely growing up in LA, it gives you a different standard, I guess, for what an actor is. The majority of the people that I know started in New York, so they really, cut their teeth and hone their craft there with some of the greats and the A-listers. So I think it just gives you a different perspective. Hollywood to me isn't necessarily glitz and glamorous parties and those things. I mean, it's family, it's faith, it's having people around you that you can trust, that have your best interest at heart. And I think it also gives me a different approach to the craft. I take it really seriously. There are some people who just, I'm cute and I'm fun and I'm this, so people are gonna like me.
Right.
But I think it just gives me a different intensity when I approach work. So it's good. It's been great.
And being around your family and also James Pickens and his
Yeah,
family,
shout out
because
to Uncle
I
Jim.
know your dad and him and his Gina and Pam, all the real good close friends. The stereotype that it broke for me is that people in Hollywood, they're to themselves and they
Yeah.
don't really like other people and stuff. But I distinctly remember your dad just helping me and treating me like I was a member of your family. And that was so
That's him.
impressive to me. I know that has to have had an impact on you.
Oh, absolutely. My dad is a servant first. He spends a lot of time at church. Him and my mother are actually both deacons. They're trying to get Uncle Jim and Aunt Gina too. They kind of kicking and screaming.
Right.
But I think our pastors are going to get them. But they're both deacons and elders at our church, as well as my Aunt Iris. Shout out to her as well. And so they're very into faith and community and family, and that's just how we grew up. So we're not really bougie Hollywood kids. Like we don't
Right.
really. Me and my friends don't have that story to tell. And my family has always instilled in me, serve others as Christ served others. Like always be the best that you can be for yourself, but also remember to always give back to others. So yeah, they're servant leaders first and foremost. So that's kind of my motto.
Great,
I would say.
great. Now, let's move ahead a little bit and seeing that you have that background of actors in your family, you went to New Roads High
School, I
School.
did.
So, and that's an art school. How was things at that school, being at an art school, and how did that prepare you for today?
Wow, New Roads is really great. It's actually started by a man named David Bryan and Paul Cummings. They actually started Crossroads as well, so we're kind of like the sister school. We had a little bit of a rivalry, wasn't too serious, but we had to use their gym and stuff too because our campus was so small at the time. And it was different going to a private school. I grew up going to public schools, had great public school education in Burbank. But then my parents, me and my friend Dorian, like our moms were like, hey, y'all should go to private school for high school. And we were like, okay, whatever. And so it was a transition. I ended up primarily going to school in the Valley and now having to go to Santa Monica. So that was a drive. Thank you to my mother for doing that. So it was a drive to go to Santa Monica every day. But the school was really cool. It was small, maybe 500 some odd students at the time. And only a couple classes had graduated before us. And it was great. There were smaller class sizes, very into the environment and social justice. And then it allowed us to create our own curriculum. So a lot of my curriculum outside of, of course, the normal stuff, consisted of me doing acting. So I was constantly doing plays and playwriting classes and various things. So I really think it helped nurture my artistic and my creative gifts. So
Great.
I love New Roads, man.
Right. Yeah, because that gave us because when you did the play Our Town,
I
was
did.
that
I did
at
Our
New
Town.
Roads?
Yep. It was at our at New Roads, and that was intense too. But I'd actually done plays all 4 years, so I think that was my senior year. So we had to document that. Did a great job documenting it, by the way. So and then I played as a stage manager, and it was more lines than I think I've ever learned in my life. But we got through it. And my dad actually played. He played the stage manager in Atlanta a couple years ago when he did Our Town for True Colors, Kenny Leon's theater. So that was kind of weird to say that you've done the same role as your dad.
Right.
But I did it, so it was good.
Great. Now, moving ahead a little bit, what about New Roads prepared you for USC and wanting to go to USC?
SC, man. I think New Roads, more so than just giving me an education, really gave me a worldview and a perspective on how to not just care about me, but how to be a citizen of the world and take into account politics and education and how everything in the world affects you, not just whatever's going on with you in any given moment in your drama. So I think it gave me the ability to kind of think outside of myself before I got to USC, which is what my parents say college is sort of a microcosm of the world. And so I kind of had an opportunity to sort of experience that beforehand and learn to really think critically and think independently. Like, you couldn't tell me nothing. I'd be like, prove it, So I think it really challenged my mindset. So by the time I got to college, there were certain skills, critical thinking, problem solving, things that I kind of already had under my tool belt as a result of going to that school. And so, when I got to SC, although it was, a little culture shock, being on your own, doing your own thing, I think I was really prepared for what happened.
And what was your major at USC?
I majored in theater and acting, and I have my Bachelor of Fine Arts in acting, so it was only me and like 20 other students. So I think it's 25 of us when we started, and then kind of chopped it down as we went along. But it was a very intense program, 4 years with the same people. You're seeing them all the time. And then we also, because it was a conservatory style training, and then we also had our general ed classes. So as well as us doing, just standard basic acting classes, we were able to be exposed to different things. I took sociology classes and linguistic classes, and again, just a well-rounded, holistic education as opposed to just focusing on one thing.
Okay, so now you're in grad school. So where are you going to grad school, and what are you majoring in?
I'm in grad school with Full Sail University out of Winter Park, Florida, which is primarily geared toward entertainment and media. And a friend of mine who I used to go to SC with, but he left the school, ended up going there. And after I graduated, a little while afterwards, he was like, hey, I would love for you to come out, do this music video, come to my school. And I was like, okay. And I had never heard of the school, but it's incredible. They have their own backlot. The students are constantly shooting things, filming things, writing things. It's a really intense program. And so I was like, this is cool. I don't know if I would want to move to Florida, but this is cool. I enjoy the school. And so I just kind of kept it in my back pocket, back of my mind. And after I just left my recent job, me and my mother had sort of been talking about, furthering education or whether I was going to do it or not. And then I just decided to go and do it. And so I'm doing it online in entertainment business. So I'll be done in August 2013. Right. So it's only a year program. Oh, okay. But it's a lot of work. It's very intense. But I'm really enjoying it.
Great. Now, your Twitter handle is @CEO J Will.
Follow me.
What is that all about?
At CEO J Will, it's funny how that name sort of came about. I was actually working on a project last summer with my cousin, and he's a producer. So we were doing music, and I was playing around rapping a little bit. And so in the midst of me, writing verses, CEO J Will just came up, and it stuck. Everybody was like, "I love it. It's so cool. Keep it." So that just became, the moniker. And my Twitter handle.
Great.
So it's great. That's really where it came from. And it really was birthed out of me and my cousin starting something that we called the Empire. And it's based on us, like you've already touched on, coming out of this sort of, I guess, dynasty of these amazing actors and this entertainment family. And so us sort of being the next generation. And so that's where it sort of came from. And so from there, I was just like, CEO J Will is just so appropriate for the Empire. So
Fantastic.
it's great.
Also, in your Twitter bio, it mentions that you are a storyteller. What type of stories do you like telling? Or is it a variety?
It's a variety of stories. I'm really dramatic, though. So, I really enjoy dramatic stories. But I also like comedies. And I write as well. So, I try writing comedy. It's a little more difficult than I thought it would. But people are always like, you're so funny. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I really enjoy dramas. And just stuff that really talks about just the human condition in general and how we can sort of further ourselves to be better as a society, as a human race. So anything that really kind of cuts to the core of, questioning our existence or, morality, whatever the case may be. So it varies, but I love stories.
Now let's freestyle a little bit. So exactly what's going on with you right now that's, you want people to know about? Because I saw you post on Facebook you were coming here today.
Yeah.
So what is it out there you want them to know about?
Well, I'm just trying to create a buzz. I had the opportunity of working with some incredible young people when I was at Los Angeles Job Corps. I just left in August, and we did a show called Beyond the Impression, Darkness and Light, and it was a bunch of poetry students, and they were like, when I tell you they're incredible, they're incredible. And so while being at that job, and it was an easy job, like it was cool, it wasn't any stress or strain. I just realized that I wanted to help them tell their stories on a public platform. These kids, a lot of them come from the hood, so they're like, yo, we want to go to jails, we want to go to schools, we want to speak, and they just really want to help their communities, which I think is rare, like you said. So when you find people who are on the same page as you, you should totally take advantage of it.
Now, beyond that, do you have aspirations of maybe acting on stage or TV and movies?
I do. I think it's interesting, that we started with me being 16 and me being 25.
Right.
Just that journey has been very interesting because I thought before I wanted to be an actress, I wanted to be a writer.
Okay.
And then I wanted to be an actress. And now it's kind of morphing into like so many different things. And that's why I kind of, instead of necessarily worrying about the function, because I like to think of acting as like a function or writing as a function, but storytelling is the core. So whether I'm in music, whether I'm acting, whether I'm writing, whatever, as long as I'm telling people's stories and, like I said, helping heal hearts, helping heal minds, helping heal communities, letting people not feel so alone in their lives, that's really what I want to do. And so, yes, if that means I get to be on Broadway, sure. If that means I get to do a movie, that's incredible. I would love the opportunity.